So here was something surprising. Edson Barboza has come out and said that in 2020, he's going to drop down to featherweight. Now, that really surprised me. Really surprised me for a couple of reasons. First off, let's just start at the beginning. How? You ever seen Edson Barboza? He looks like he's carved out of stone. Where's he going to find 10 pounds? I would have to imagine it's a struggle to get down to 155. I mean, I would just have to imagine that. Where's he going to find 10 pounds? I think we saw from Jose Aldo just doing it, who also perfectly lean guy, that it's possible if you want to cannibalize your own body and take some muscle off, sure, you could do it. I think it does come back. I think I ask a fair question when I say, why? Why would you want to do that? It would seem to me as a fan, and Edson doesn't have to do what fans want. He has to do what he believes is best for Edson, but it would just seem to me as a fan that him going, if he wants to change weight class, 170, in many ways would make a little bit more sense than going down to 145. Okay, the other reason I was surprised is he's doing so well at 155. Do I need to remind him he is coming off a win? Do I need to remind him that that was in a co-main event? In an arena that was erected just for that? Do I need to remind Edson how well he's doing at 155? Question is, well, what do you want to do down at 145? And is this all about the fact that there's a change there? That Volkanovski needs an opponent? Is it all about that? I mean, if it's not about a title, what the hell would it be about? Everything's going great in the career of Edson Barboza. Everybody knows who this guy is. He's completely feared. Nobody calls him out. Nobody wants to fight Barboza. You fight Barboza if you have to fight him, and then you get ready to be in a whole lot of pain, whether you win or lose. I mean, he's a very respected figure in the sport, but he's also a staple at 155 pounds. So I have to assume, I think you guys would agree that this is about a title. Okay, no problem. But did anybody give you the advice that if you go down to 145 pounds, here's the path? Did somebody in a leadership position say, hey, Barboza, we're looking for some fresh blood, and if you can get down here, we're going to give you a fight, and if you do well in it, boom, you're going to slide right into a title? And I only ask that because that kind of seems where he's at 155. I mean, there's a number of really good choices at 155 pounds, right? Anytime you get in a jam of what should I do, and it's 155, Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is the answer to every single question that comes up at 155 pounds, but so is Kevin Lee. So is Tony Ferguson. So is Edson Barboza. So is Paul Felder. I mean, there's a lot of guys at 155 that are the right answer. He's in a good spot. He's one of those guys. Now, if you look at the fact that he's already been matched up with Khabib, and if he believes that Khabib is going to be victorious over Tony, and he goes, look, I tested those waters, I get it, not a good matchup for me, and I want the strap, then you go down to 145, and I'm only guessing what could be going through his head. But for him to leave and go down to 145, I mean, the lifestyle change and the commitment that he's going to have to make, literally, he's going to have to cannibalize his body. He's going to have his body eat away at it and burn calories. I mean, it's just one of these things where if you worked as hard as Edson to get that strength and that power that he had, I mean, he's a very special, fast, rare skill set. Balance. Edson Barboza has some of the best balance. Nobody ever talks about balance in sport, but we all know how important it is. Barboza can spin around with one foot on the ground, kick you right in the mouth. Know right where you are. I mean, he's an amazing athlete, this guy. To think that he's going to cannibalize and take some of that off that he worked so hard to get, it's just a surprise for me. And I'm in. If he wants to go down to 145 and give us all some parity, I'm in for it. I would just ask Edson before he did it, hey, do you have a plan? Is there a strategy? Have you made some private phone calls and shared your theory with anybody else who's signed off on that theory? I'm curious as to why. I really am. And if it is about a fresh coat of paint, and it is about some different parody, great. I've seen that movie before 1,000,000 times. It's a good movie, but I do argue for you, consider going the other way. Have you considered? I mean, Edson trains at the ATT. ATT's had a foothold. They've had a stranglehold on the welterweight title for a meaningful period of time. Whether it was Robbie Lawler or Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, I mean, they got 170 figured out. It would be pretty easy to go and just touch hands with a teammate, go get 5, 10, 15 good minutes in and see where you stack up there. Maybe he's already done that. Maybe size was too big of an issue and he didn't like it, but I don't know that a committed size was ever made. He's never committed to 170. Spent a couple of months allowing his body to adjust. It's just a thought. I would not instruct Edson Barboza, this is a very accomplished guy, I would not instruct him where to go. But it did seem to me, whether it is or not, like a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. This is a guy, after all, coming off a victory over Paul Felder. I have that wrong, don't I? They gave Felder that fight. Before you guys go to my YouTube, you're right. They gave Felder that fight. I forgot that. Barboza won that match. Felder won the decision. Okay, maybe that's what's got him all up in arms. But it still would seem to me that the trilogy fight with Paul Felder said he just has big things at 155. I don't know why this guy would want to go through the turmoil and the angst of dropping down a weight class. It seems very difficult, particularly when he can just look at the experiment that was just done by Jose Aldo. We don't see it largely, particularly with older athletes when they go down in weight. I don't know that we have enough history to support as a trajectory of the future that dropping weight, that's murderer's row. 155, 145 pounds, two toughest weight classes in MMA and have been across the board. Organizations in Japan, Bellator, UFC, across the board. That is the hot spot. You want to change your body? Go have a little bit of fun doing it. Gain some weight. Get yourself out of the fire. Get yourself up to another weight. 170 is not easy. Not my message here. But it's a hell of a lot easier than 145.